Welcome to another episode of Satisfying Static.
Yippee!
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
We had a whole pre-recording decompression because Kristine may or may not have been stupid at jiu-jitsu and got hurt, and so I had to vent about my neck because I'm a dum-dum. So that's where we started. No other housekeeping things that I know of.
But we're taking care of ourselves now. Do we have any puzzle updates? Are we still trying to be a puzzle master? I forget what the terminology is.
Professional puzzle completionist. And
right.
Yes, I am still doing that. I unfortunately got really sucked into an expansion to a video game that I purchased the other day, and so
that's fun.
Yeah, the last over the last 2 days, I've had a total of 9 hours conscious that had been off and not doing things, and I have decided to spend those playing video games because, unfortunately my time off has been sporadic. I haven't had enough like condensed time off to set up a puzzle to do a competition trial, like to practice.
Oh, like a timed?
Right, because today I had so yesterday we got Olivia's car worked on. Today we got my car worked on. And I had an MRI today for the fun bags.
Ooh. How did that go? How are you feeling? Today's been a big day.
Yeah, it was a long day. And I slept 4 hours because I worked until 1 o'clock in the morning last night. And I have an hour and a half commute, so I didn't get home till 2:30. Fall asleep at 3. Sleep for 4 hours, get up at 7 to go drop my car off on time. And I had to drive Olivia to work. And then I had to get Olivia at work to drive her back to get her car so that we both had our vehicles, because I knew I was going to be at my MRI and she was going to have to cast the play tonight at her friend's house.
Mm-hmm.
It's been exhausting. The MRI was fine. It went well. They got the IV the first time, which is tough. I'm a really hard stick.
Same.
Yeah. So they were very gracious. I always forget the dye makes you feel like you're gonna pee yourself. So.
Oh, that dye? Yeah, It's been a while since I've had one of those, but I have had like an MRI or whatever.
This is only
the same thing.
Well, there's different kinds of dye. There's CT dye and then there's MRI dye. Both make you feel warm. MRI really makes you feel like you're gonna piss yourself. Like you really feel like your vagine is on fire.
That's the one.
Yeah. So I don't expect to see anything on this MRI, which is good. We don't want to see anything on this MRI. This is just
yay,
more evidence for the surgeon to be like, hey, it's funny though. This is the first time I've gone into a breast screening that I didn't have concerns, and I'm like, I bet this is the time it comes back as there's a little weird thing here. Like I had that thought the whole time.
Well, of course you're doom. What is it? Doom visioning. What's that phrase?
Catastrophizing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Doom phrasing is fine though. We like that. That's good.
I love that you got it though. Someone jumped into my comments on one of my TikToks and just said, "I'm sorry, I have to know, was the song that you were thinking of Linger by the Cranberries?" And I was like, I'm sorry, at what point did you think I was thinking that? Like in the TikTok, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, they were like on the podcast. I was like, oh, yes, it was.
Yo, shout out to the 175 listeners that we have.
Yeah, seriously. Like, I love you guys.
They're so sweet. 175 of them. I genuinely, I love them so much because we really just use this as an excuse to catch up and have an hour of just us kind of hanging out. And I use it as a way to unwind when I edit. So like, thanks for listening to that, guys. Thanks for coming to that.
You. Every time somebody jumps in my live or my comments, I like lose my mind. Like, wait, what are you doing here?
It's so nice. It's so nice. I did get some feedback that Spicy Static is highly requested. So.
Oh, yes. Oh, no. Okay. All right. Will that be our next episode then? We need to carve out time where we can hang out, drink, and like, wait. Oh, are we using the spicy couple cards?
I think it's all the above, right? It's like an intense question card and adult beverages.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can always play back the tape to make sure we got that right, but
I think, yeah. I think that's
um,
the answer. We should be listening to our own episodes. We should be beefing our streaming numbers. We did hit 10,000 total streams.
yay!
Yay! It's
Those
very
are little
exciting.
confetti.
That was
Um,
good. Yeah, confetti emoji. Confetti emoji.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
Welcome.
Yeah, well, I'm down if that's what we want to do for the next one. We'll have to plan for that.
Indeed, indeed. So maybe, yeah, we might be doing that. Yeah, that's all I have for housekeeping stuff. That's where I'm at. The rocket ship is a full gray base coat, so we are 2/3 of the way there, which is very
Ooh,
exciting. Yeah, it
okay.
just needs the red and the blue, and then we're done with paint. And I gotta find some black hardware on the interwebs that I like enough to replace the silver hardware that I've decided now I don't like.
Oh, okay. Of course. Yes. How much
I,
hardware is on this vehicle of yours?
um, 9 carriage bolts, so like the flat-sided bolts. There's 9 that
Okay,
attach the top to the bottom piece,
got it.
and then there's 4 screws for every window, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 windows. So 24 hex bolts, but I want the hardware to be black, like my heart. So,
Perfect. Okay, so we're changing up the hardware. We're getting paint done.
mm-hmm.
Um, it sounds like it's coming along. I'm proud of you.
The
Look at
finish
you.
line, the finish line is nigh. Is that the word nigh?
Yeah. Yes.
Does nigh
Yes.
mean near? Oh boy, now
I
I'm
think so.
nervous.
Are we gonna Google it? Do you have the Google in front of you?
The Google is in front of me. What's that? Right, it's got to be right. What does
I
nigh
think so.
mean? Almost, yes. A car weighing nigh on 2 tons. I hate that example
Maybe
sentence.
I feel like there's multiple definitions. That one doesn't feel but
Uh,
anyway,
at or to a short distance away from a place, she wanders but seems to remain nigh the sea.
yeah. Okay. Um
Oh, and then located a short distance away. The end is nigh. Yeah. So yeah, there we go.
we could have started there, but that's all right. We learned a lot
We could
about
have started there.
Nye today.
Anyway. Mm.
But that's fun.
Nigh. Latin. Nigh. You're welcome.
We needed it. We needed that. Yeah, the spelling bee. Um I'm gonna really attempt to wallpaper this one wall this week.
Really? You're gonna use wallpaper?
Well, it's the like renter friendly, like peel and stick kind.
Yeah. Do you have it? Is
So
it in front of you? Is it in the house? Can I see it?
I do, but I have to move to grab it, and I'm so scared that the second I move, everything is gonna just like
Just
stop
just
working.
put yeah, just don't touch the microphone. So whenever Maggie touches the microphone, it immediately disconnects. She just looks at it the wrong way and it disconnects.
Oh my god, I love pickles in here.
Oh, pickles.
Okay, so it's not unrolled, but it's like mostly black with like big florals on it. This way,
Yeah.
it'd be this way, and just like the one wall, and my desk is pink because why not? Because it's my office. So yeah, I've been telling myself I'm going to do that, and it's been literally sitting here for like months now because
That's
obviously.
great.
So I really just need to do it this week. So I'm going to have you and the rest of the podcast hold me accountable.
I'm
So
really excited about it.
maybe I'll do a live, and we'll just figure out how to wallpaper one wall together.
I love
So
that for
that can
you.
be housekeeping for next time.
Is your future roommate going to keep that wall?
Yeah, she better. And I told her that to not worry, she's really gonna like it.
Great. Perfect. Perfect. I love
she's
that for you.
she's very low key, so she just is fine. I mean, it's a literal closet, and it's only for a couple months, so she's like she's just happy to be here.
I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to hang around. Not gonna
She's
lie.
happy to be involved. Yeah. So, so yeah, I think it'll be fine, and I think it's gonna be cute, even like when it's a bedroom for a couple months. But, um, yeah, I'm tired of staring at this blank wall in front of me. And then who knows? Maybe I'll shift and I'll sit on the floor on the other side.
Oh yeah, maybe that. Maybe that would be lovely. Yeah. Any other housekeeping things? How's the cat that's not yours?
Oh, I had to kick him out before this because I could not risk him like screaming under the door to be let out. Listen, I keep calling him a jerk and then forgetting that like he's probably pretty old. And so now I'm just like looking at him as this like little frail old man and I just feel bad.
Like a get off my lawn old man.
Yeah, yeah, he's just like fucking cranky all the time and like nobody gets him and he just wants his head scratches and to be left alone. So like he just comes in here and now he loves his favorite new spot is to nap on my bed. He just sleeps there all day. Leaves me
Oh.
the hell alone. So I just let him do that. And then sometimes I forget he's in here and I'll walk in there and I'm like, oh, the cat. Fuck, I forgot. How
Didn't
long have you
uh
been in here?
didn't his parents gift you a plant?
I got 2 plants actually.
Oh
But
my
yes, they
god.
did. It was very cute. They're very cute. They just had a baby, and so I'm pretty sure Murray does not love that because
Oh.
why would he? And so he hangs out here, and he was probably miserable while I was visiting home for a wedding and stuff. Like, just could not get into my apartment. I wonder how long he was out there screaming before he gave
Oh
up.
my god, so long. I bet that's why he's committed to your bed though. He's probably like, "Well, my bed is now taken by this stupid little human and I want nothing to do with that thing." So he's like, "I'll go sleep in this bed," which is empty
He
and sad sometimes.
Oh, he is not allowed to move in. He's not allowed to move in. I can't adopt a Murray. He's a psycho.
Oh, but Murray's so cute.
Yeah, but he has a family and a
He,
house,
he does have a family.
and they treat him great. He's got like a whole little water fountain, so he's got like fresh running water all day long. He's got a litter box. He's got air conditioning. He's taken care of. I
He
have
is.
no air conditioning, no litter box, and he makes me turn on the faucet for him
I
so he
told
can
you
drink water.
my ex and I had an outdoor indoor cat and our neighbor stole him.
Yeah, that
Like it was
happens too.
a little 10-year-old girl was always petting him and whatever and it was like no big deal.
Hmm.
And then one day he just never came back and we were like, "Oh my god, we never saw him dead or anywhere." And
Hmm.
I'll never forget it. I was at the end of the driveway getting mail and I looked across the street and there he is in the window and he looks at me and he's like he clearly recognizes me and I recognize him and we're just doing like the Spider-Man meme at each other really quick, like pointing at each other. And then I'm like, I immediately take my phone out, I start recording it, and I send it to my at the time partner, and was like, they fucking stole Carl. They have Carl.
Oh, Carl.
Yeah, Carl.
I love that. Yeah, that
And
happens with outdoor cats. My
we
so many outdoor cats got stolen.
well, and we had this whole thing where it was like, do we make a big deal out of it? Do we ruin this little girl's whole life because she's like obsessed with this thing? And then out of nowhere, they moved and they took him. So like we didn't have a way of following them. We didn't have a way of So
Oh,
like we didn't even have a choice anymore. They just decided that Carl was theirs and was gonna go.
assholes.
And then we got Harriet, and Harriet came with me, and we love
Oh,
Harriet,
yeah. Except for when she's
who's
possessed by the devil.
currently trying to eat Olivia's bag that she just set down. So,
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, we love sweet, sweet Harriet. Our favorite.
anyway, I'll find
Her
a
and
word.
Murray would get along great.
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah, actually, they tried to kill each other. Anyway, yep. Fire it up.
Olivia jokingly talked about getting a kitten not that long ago, I think a couple of days ago, and I said, absolutely not. Harriet, absolutely not.
That
Absolutely.
sounds like a
Harriet would
terrible idea.
eat it.
Terrible idea.
Or
Yeah.
no, like
Yeah.
it was an adult cat, I think. Because I was like, she might do okay with the kitten because she would bully it into submission and then be okay. But like
Right.
another like big kid cat, absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's no way. Yeah, right,
She tries. I mean,
right, yeah.
like she tries to fight Willow. Like I don't.
All the time, constantly.
I'm just honestly like I don't. That seems like a bad idea. I feel like this is a waited out situation.
I agree. The first word. Oh wait, sorry. Beep boop bop 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 boop bop schla.
Oh
It's on
no,
now.
I didn't like that last one.
The schla.
Ugh. No, thank you.
So now that it's on, the word is castle.
That makes me think of Disney princesses.
Okay. Yeah. My first thought was the detective show Castle that used to be on.
Say what now?
The detective show Castle.
I'm not unfamiliar.
Oh, it
Educate
was really
me.
good. It's got Nathan Fillion in it. That guy. He was in Firefly, which I never saw, but I heard was really good. Had like a cult following. Firefly.
Okay, wait. I did watch Firefly, but I'm trying to remember what that guy looked like.
Mm-hmm. Him. He
Okay.
is a murder mystery novelist, and
Mm-hmm.
he gets a consulting job with the NYPD. I think, or it's either NYPD or LAPD. I can't remember. I think it's LAPD. And like all good shows like that, he falls in love with his partner and
Of
has a
course.
teenage daughter, and it was really good. It's like if Lucifer and Bones had a baby.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
you
it's
could
pretty
have
good.
you could have started with that, but
Sorry. Yeah, there you go.
I'll give it a try. You're gonna have to remind me what it's called, so let's add it to the
Castle. That's the
recap.
word. Castle.
Oh fuck,
Castle.
yeah.
It's the whole word. It's the whole because his name is Castle.
I'm sorry, I'm making a face out of pom poms on the floor right now. I'm a
Oh
little
my god.
distracted.
Anyway, that's what I first thought of. My second thought was my father went to England. They were going back and forth to England. Him and his wife, my stepmother, were going back and forth to England a
I
lot
hate
because they had
me.
family and friends there. And my dad was telling the story. He's like, "Yeah, we went and saw Sting's castle," and I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, like you can drive by, but we took a different way, and so we got really close to Sting's castle." And I was like,
Oh.
"Dad," and he's like, "But it was really cool." Okay, great.
That's a fun update.
So that was my first two thoughts was the show and my father's London story. And then my final thought was medieval times and how you used to work for their media team. And I got really excited again.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. Okay, that's a good one. That one didn't even occur to me actually. That's so funny. But yeah, I did used to help do social media for medieval times in the Chicagoland area.
Which is my
Just for
favorite medieval
that
times.
specific one. But that was a lot of fun, and they're always really fun people, and like, I mean, they love what they do. It's a little it's really fun to be just like behind the scenes, but I didn't think of castle probably because it's like a, I don't know, horses and jousting arena.
Yeah,
But
but it's shaped like a
yeah,
giant
you're right.
castle.
You're right. You're right. So is the Mars Cheese Castle, which is
What is
another thing.
that?
Okay, so that was actually not the second thing I thought of, but now that we're talking about castle shaped things in like the
Well, the word
Midwest,
is castle. It's not
so
like it's totally off
it's
base.
coming together. So for those that are unfamiliar, the Mars Cheese Castle is a grocery store slash bar slash souvenir shop that's shaped like a castle. But like all they sell is like Wisconsin cheeses and like cheeses, and then they sell like some specialty grocery items. You can get New Glarus there because it's in Wisconsin. Um, and there's like a bar on one side, so you can
They
like sit
definitely sell
there
spotted cow, right?
and like for sure, yeah, order
Yeah.
food and order beer, whatever. You can buy wine and stuff. Like, I don't. That's literally it. But people from Illinois will drive up there to like on a day trip. Like, let's go buy some cheese and drink some New Glarus and like go back to Chicago.
So people, okay,
It's
for
like
all of
on
our
the way to
listeners,
Milwaukee, so it's not like
for,
super far.
right, for all of our listeners that aren't from the Midwest, a store serving four purposes very commonplace. So the fact, so the fact that this store is not only a cheese lollapalooza, and a bar and a souvenir shop, but
Mhm.
wait, there's more. They also serve regular food is not at all surprising to me. That makes total sense.
They do, yeah. There's like a there's like a full deli
The
counter and stuff, yeah.
the biggest shock to my system moving out to New England was that gas stations weren't also grocery stores or weren't also full-blown convenience stores. I'm so
What do you
used to like a,
mean?
a good old right. I'm so used to a good old like Quick Star or like a
No,
good old
seriously. What do
like
you
a
mean?
Casey's. So out here, they all have little like mechanic things attached to them with like
What?
zero things to buy inside. It's like
What? It's like
gas.
just for gas and car stuff?
Yeah, I know. Guys, you don't understand, okay? Literally, I knew people back in the Midwest who would do their entire grocery shopping at the Quick Star.
Well, I guess nothing's like things are a lot closer there. So like maybe is road tripping just not the same as it is out
No.
here?
So no, nobody here road trips, okay? A 20-minute commute is considered a road trip, just to be clear.
A 20.
If you should see the people's faces when I talk to them about my work commute. They think that I'm traveling the fucking Arctic. I'm not even kidding.
I drove 90 minutes for a one night stand. What? 20 minutes?
I'm sorry, did you just say you drove 90 minutes for a one night stand?
Yeah, it wasn't even that good.
You've driven 2.5 hours for a one night stand.
That is also true. That is a fair point.
You have done that.
Right,
I have also done that.
So 20 minutes is some bullshit. Is what I have to say.
Across the Arctic tundra, like they literally. I'll tell people it's like 80 minutes long, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, you're staying out here, right?" I'm like, "No, it's an 80-minute drive," and they're like, "Did you pack your Arctic gear? Do you have your snowshoes?" Like, I'm so serious.
What?
It's so bad, dude. It's so bad.
So
no. Everybody, if it's not within 15 minutes of your house, it's too far.
That's so interesting. Like the culture.
Olivia is so defensive right now. She's like, that's not true.
Listening.
Yeah, she is. She's over there and she's like waving her hands. She's like, that's not true. I'm like, I love you, sweetie. You don't see it how I see it. Like the stark difference of people being like, oh, that's not bad, to being like, oh my God, it's 35 minutes?
Well, like, can I tell you, my mom's commute for most of my childhood and growing up was over an hour?
Yeah, and I know that. To Peabody, right?
Yeah.
But what was her first words when we talked about me working out in Western Mass? She goes, that's a long commute. Oh boy, that's a long drive. Like that's the first words out of her mouth. That is the first words out of New Englanders' mouths. And they treat Western Massachusetts like it's a different fucking country. And Western Mass treats Eastern Mass like it's a different country. Like, I'm in Western Mass, and I'm like, yeah, I live in X. And they're like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm not crossing a I don't need my passport, guys. It's not like I'm not time traveling.
Like too far for them to drive. That is
yes.
Odd.
Yes.
Is odd.
My mom treats
I'm unfamiliar.
My mom treats this back home, driving 20 minutes for her is also, and if there's a bridge involved, no, you're teleporting.
Okay. Good luck with that.
Anyway, so there's that.
Okay, interesting. I learned a little bit about Boston area, East Coast culture today.
Yeah. I still can't get over that they call convenience stores variety stores.
Variety stores?
Because there's a variety of things. There's a variety of things.
Are they not also convenient?
I know. And I was like, oh, a variety show. Like, there's going to be a talent show in the store? No. Nope.
It's so interesting. Wow. Yeah. I mean, there was a little bit of culture shock when I moved out here because, like, the West Coast is very different from Chicago at the very least.
More castles.
Less castles. Wait, maybe. There are some castle-like buildings out here, especially the rich ones, but
I was gonna say, I feel like California's got way more McMansions than
for sure. I was thinking like, so my second thought was like Europe, like traveling to Europe and seeing like all those like old castles. So I guess in my head I was like, well, I guess there are a couple like stone buildings that look like castles out here. But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of mansions out here. They all absolutely are castle worthy. If they're not castles, I don't know what one is.
Modern day castles. There's a castle on the rock up in Wisconsin too, right? It's like a
the house on the rock?
House on the rock, that's what it is. Yeah.
That's a trip. That's also a fun day trip for people who live in the Chicagoland area, because what else are you going to do with your day?
Yeah, because a giant city of 4 million people gets boring fast.
You'd be surprised. Like when it's different.
It does.
It's different when you like live there, like day in and day out. So yeah, sometimes you just need a break from the city. So we drive up to a house on the rock, which, if anybody listening is familiar, I'm sorry. But it's an interesting experience for sure. This like very creative individual built a house for himself, like very far in the woods in Wisconsin, and filled it with whatever the fuck he wanted. Um, so like one room is full of like dolls, and another room is like made entirely out of like the butts of glass bottles. Like it, it's very
What?
interesting.
Wait, seriously? I didn't know you
It's
could go
very
into it.
interesting. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You buy a ticket and you go in, and there's like there's a huge carousel. My parents used to take me actually when I was little, and I revisited like a few years back with like friends. We all did a trip up there. Um, and I didn't realize how terrifying that carousel is. There are angels hung from the ceiling, like wooden
Oh no.
angel carving things that are hung from the ceiling. Like it is so
No.
creepy. The whole thing. Like when I was little, I used to love it because if the very like last room is this giant carousel inside. It's like a giant indoor carousel, and you can ride it, like pay to ride it or whatever, and like kids love it. I don't remember it being like this. I
Oh
was probably just excited
no.
because it was like as little as a carousel, and like all of the horses and stuff on the carousel were like a little weird, and then it's like very dark in there.
Ugh.
The whole thing. It's worth looking up at the very
I,
least. And if you live
I
near the area, I do recommend. Like it's not terrifying, but you're a little like, man, what is this place?
so it's not quite like Human Centipede, but it's a
No,
step below.
it's not like Human Centipede at all. It's just like it's like it feels like you're being set up for a horror movie, but then like
Oh,
nothing ever
sure.
happens, you know?
Sure.
You're like, "Oh, my car broke down and like we're in the middle of nowhere." Oh, like, "Oh, look at this
Oh.
McMansion that's like well lit. Seems like a safe place to stay tonight." And then you like walk in and it's like totally empty and dead silent, but there's like a fire and like a sunken living room that's like covered in like fur lined things and like just dolls, and you're like, okay, well,
Is this
at
the
least it's
beginning?
warm in here.
Is this the beginning of Wrong Turn? Children of the Corn? Jeepers Creepers? We'll
Right,
find
you
out.
like you never really know, and like every room you transition into, you're a little bit like, okay, like I don't know, like is this the start of the Saw? Like I'm not sure where we're going, and then you're like, oh, nothing happens. Okay, well the next room is just also full of dolls, and for Christmas it's like crazy because everything's decorated with Santas, so like there's just like like thousands thousands of Santa like memorabilia, so it's just like mugs and figurines and stockings and all any statues are now Santa. It's
Could you imagine being the person in charge of putting that away and putting it out?
it's like a whole. I mean, they need like a whole month to prepare for that.
I was gonna say, is
Like
there a team? Is there a team of bodies that do this, or
there
is it one
has to
one
be.
person?
There has to be. There's no way. And like, where do they store it?
Right. I didn't know you could go in. I always thought it was just you because
Yeah.
he like put like a moat around it, right? Like it's like an island rock.
Kind of. So like the cool thing about it, and like this is, I think it is worth seeing, is like one part of the building like juts out over a stream or river or whatever, and it's like over the rock. So and it gets very very narrow, and it's just sort of this like spike that is like put over the
Wow.
rock, and it's just like this really long hallway. And so you can walk down that hallway to the end and kind of look down and like see the rock underneath and see the river or whatever. Um, but it also wobbles when you're walking on it. so, it's like, so
Oh,
it's like oh cool, like this is like all of this in theory sounds like kind of cool to see, and then you get there and you're like okay, like yes, I'm glad I saw it, but also like ugh, okay.
so there's
But
this
yeah,
thing in Grand Junction called the Swinging Bridge. Have you ever heard of this?
no.
So it is literally a large wooden bridge that spans across a large ravine. Its whole purpose is that the way that the suspension has been built, it swings when you walk across it. Literally swings left to right. And
I mean, I don't know. If somebody was walking in front of me, I'd probably go.
So my ex and I, her grandmother grew up in Grand Junction. So when her grandmother came to town, she wanted to go to Grand Junction, so we went. I want to say it was a few hour drive. We went there and she was like, "Oh, let's go to the swinging bridge." And I was like, "Okay, sure." I took 2 steps onto this thing and I said, "Oh, no."
Did she do it?
Oh, absolutely. And she dragged me to the middle of it. She made me stand in the middle of it. I wanted to die. I wanted to die. No. And I like heights. I have no problem with heights. I have problem with structural integrity not being there. That's what I have problem. I'm like, that rope looks like if you looked at it too hard, it would snap in half. And it's designed to swing. This is worse than a fair ride. Where's the carny laughing at me in the background? This is not
designed to swing.
It's terrible. So for those of you in the Midwest, look up the swinging bridge in Grand Junction and go be terrified.
Go, adrenaline junkies. Go risk your lives.
I think it's near Crybaby Bridge.
Why is it called that? That's scary. Why is it called that?
There's a Crybaby Bridge back where I'm from. I think the lore was that a school bus of kids were involved in an accident on this bridge and had died. And if you put baby powder on your bumper and put your car in neutral, they'll like push you across the bridge and there'll be little handprints on the bumper.
Oh, weird. I feel like I read that story somewhere before. Maybe
I feel like it was a Supernatural episode.
Yeah, maybe it was. You know, I love that show.
I'm gonna Google it. Crybaby Bridge.
Are we Googling whether it was a Supernatural episode? Because guess who's watching Supernatural tonight?
It's in Monmouth, which is a few hours away from where I lived. People love a good ghost story. Legend has it that a school bus full of children plunged off the bridge, killing everyone aboard. Another story is that a young unwed mother once tossed her unwanted infant son off the bridge. Oh, needless to say, there is no evidence that either event ever occurred, but the stories are used to support an eerie phenomenon that some locals swear occurs at the bridge. They say that if you drive your car into the bridge, put it in neutral, tiny hands will push it across the bridge, even if you are headed uphill. It is also claimed that if you put talcum powder on your bumpers, prints of the hands will appear.
All right, so we love a good urban legend. We have to go test it out. Somebody has, right? Like this is a Mythbusters episode or something.
It gets better. Barb Hauser, a local ghost hunter and a member of the small town ghost team, said in a 2018 interview that her organization had found nothing to support the claims.
They debunked it? You mean Supernatural lied to me? Is that what you're saying?
In 2012, an engineer for Caterpillar who founded the Peoria Paranormal Society brought his team to investigate the bridge. Derek Waldschmidt, who developed a device to measure changes in electromagnetic frequency that he called the, quote, ghost box, end quote, said he actually did detect changes in frequency around the bridge, but his team could make no contact with spirits, nor their car move without its engine.
Debunked.
Yeah, sounds like it.
No babies pushing cars across a bridge, but fun story, though.
Oh. An incident did occur on the bridge, but not with a baby. In July of 1898, a 15-year-old son of attorney W.K. Stewart was driving off the dam with companions when his foot slipped on the logs. Was diving off the dam, not driving, sorry. Diving off the dam.
Oh.
With companions when his foot slipped on the logs and he slipped, hitting his head on the rocks in the water below. He fractured 2 of his vertebrae, which resulted in paralysis and death just 2 days later.
We're learning so much about this bridge. Excuse me.
There are dozens of so named bridges across the United States, all having the same backstory. So, yeah, that's why I think Supernatural did pick it up. Crybaby bridges are actually fake lore, hoaxes that are intentionally propagated via the internet. In 1999, he found nearly identical stories of escaped slaves and black children having been murdered on bridges in Maryland and Ohio. The The stories seem to
Interesting.
suddenly pop up online, and no amount of research turned up any historical basis in either state for their having occurred. Fascinating. So, moral of that story is Crybaby Bridge exists in a state near you and probably doesn't have any actual tragedy surrounding it.
We love urban legends.
I don't know how we got from castle to that, but that was a good.
We gotta circle it back somehow.
Oh, wait. I'll have a good one here. Hang on. Oh, Hogwarts is a castle, and Nearly Headless Nick is in Hogwarts, and he is a ghost.
Oh, okay.
So I've connected. I've connected the
Yeah.
ghost to Nearly
Accept.
Headless Nick. Okay.
Accept. We'll take it. Next word. Let's go. Unless you have more things on castle.
I think we're on time though. Like this is a long one because we spent so much time
Researching? Yes, amazing.
Yeah, so we're at time. We're at time.
Wonderful. While you were talking, I made a beautiful pom-pom heart on the floor. Just so you
I'm
know.
really impressed with you. Why do you have pom-poms?
I'm a crafter. What?
Okay. All right. Sorry. I didn't realize that being crafty meant that you had to own pom-poms.
Obviously, at least some kind. The crafters will back me up.
Oh, wait.
Go get her in her
you call
comments.
those pom-poms?
Yeah.
Homie, I'm thinking of like cheer pom-poms.
How do you think I would have been quietly arranging those on the floor?
I thought like a pom-pom was like sitting there and you were like arranging each individual like piece, so I didn't really hear it.
Okay.
And that's why I was like, why do you have pom-poms? This is why you having those things makes sense. And now I don't even know what I would call those things.
I mean, I guess you could also call them like felt balls, but
there you go. Yeah, some felt
they're
balls. We love a good felt ball.
But yeah, I have a whole bag. I actually have two whole bags of them because obviously, why
right?
wouldn't I?
Because you're a crafter. You're a cheering crafter.
I do sometimes cheer my friends on at games that they play, but
yeah, sports.
That is literally all the cheering I've ever done.
Well,
Woo!
I appreciate your cheering. On that note, on the non-sports related pom-pom note, we'll end it there.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.